Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good Wednesday morning. Happy hump day. Welcome to the ProfitDuel World Cup Week 3 stream, where I will be joined by my friend, my colleague, Chris Allen of ProfitDuel, a World Cup extraordinaire. Before I bring Chris onto the screen, I want to just quickly call out that ProfitDuel is running a special World Cup discount, and I highly encourage you to take advantage right now so you can start profiting off all your sportsbook promotions. You could get up to 50% off on all of your ProfitDuel plans right now as we speak. So I would highly recommend you watch this stream. The first thing you do right after is purchase a subscription, because we're going to show you how you can be turning all of these matches into some nice profits. With that being said, Chris, my friend, how are you? Welcome back.
I am very well. How are you today, Casey, on this glorious hump day?
I'm good. It finally stopped raining here in New York for about 24 hours. So we got a buffer in between now and more rain that's supposed to come tomorrow, but it's been pouring. Have been enjoying the World Cup games. I know we'll get to those in a few, but yeah, can't complain. We're entering the third and final matches of group play now, and we've got to stack the next 4 days of 6 games per day, I believe.
Yes, it is very stacked. Yes, and the time difference is going to go against me like it did last night.
But for the viewers at home, what time you had to wake up to watch your beloved England play?
So I set my alarm for 2:47 a.m. because the game kicked off at 3 a.m. So I give myself 13 minutes to make a quick coffee. And unfortunately, I have to say it was not worth waking up for. I don't know any of you guys at home that watched the England-Ghana game, that would put you to sleep. It wasn't a great one. Really wasn't a great one. Finished 0-0, no goals, not even close to a goal in the game. There was just a boring game. But England, this tends to happen with England. You know, they usually, the first game, they go all out, they kill it. Second game is usually a snore fest like it was last night or this morning.
What's the third game usually for them?
The third game, yes, I mean, usually they do okay. They get some points out of the third game. They'll either tie or win the game. They will progress. You know, they will go through. To me, it's Thomas Tuchel is like done all the training for playing the better teams. You know, it seems like they didn't do enough training on defending against low blocks like Ghana did. You know, they parked the bus last night. They really did. I mean, they played incredibly well. You know, if you look on transfer market, their squad value as opposed to England, I mean, it's night and day. So they played really well. That being said, I still feel confident with England's chances. I think, you know, they did train against playing against the bigger teams. And I think that will all come to fruition later on in the tournament.
I have a question. You use the term that I've heard in passing, but look, I'm going to be honest here. I'm not a soccer extraordinaire by any means. And I'm sure the folks at home watching probably are also a bit confused by this term. You use the term park the bus. What does that mean?
So this is, I think it stemmed from the English Premier League, and it's the teams that they set up to just not concede. They may park the bus and they may play on the counter attack. But now I'm curious who coined the term originally. It might have been the great Jose Mourinho, who was Chelsea manager, Manchester United manager as well. Also Tottenham Hotspur, didn't do too well there. He's recently been over in Portugal at Benfica, but now he's going back to where he belongs at the pinnacle with Real Madrid. it might have been him that did it. He came up with so many of these kind of catchphrases, like against my lead professor, Arsene Wenger, the specialist in failure, he called him. Yeah, I think parking the bus, basically, it just means that you set up in defense the whole game. You get all 11 players behind the ball, basically, and you don't give them any room. And that's the problem England had last night. They couldn't create any spaces. It just seemed like they were out of ideas. They were just like counting on luck. Luck does not win World Cups. It can play a part in it, but it's not going to win the World Cup.
It can only get you so far. But in life, it's sometimes better to be lucky than good. At Dan S107 definitely was Marino. I hope I pronounced that correctly. So that's where it stems from. At Here Comes the Sum. As a non-soccer fan, I'm actually kind of enjoying the World Cup so far. Hoping to see some more exciting games, though. Who should I look out for? Great question. We'll get to that in the next segment after we go through the early payout matcher and kind of the success that Chris is seeing around that. So hold that thought. But we do have an action-packed next 4 days. 6 games a day, so should be a lot of fun. Chris, with that being said, right, I know we've went through the early payout matcher a bit before, but I think it would serve the audience well if we can kind of go through it in real time here on the stream, so we can just give everyone kind of a sense of what they're missing with their ProfitDuel subscription right now and kind of the lucrative profits that they can start making. So if you don't mind, do you mind just sharing your screen for everyone at home?
Absolutely, Casey. I'm glad that you asked. So this is a great shout, Casey, because we're going into the final round of the group games. So far, we've seen 18 early payouts. So this is what this tool was designed to capitalize on. And so far, we've seen it 18 times. So that's 18 opportunities to lock in profit. It's been absolutely fantastic so far. I think this is a record breaker for the World Cup.
Do you mind just zooming in a little, please?
Okay.
One more if you can. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe do one more. All right, perfect. So there's been 18 early payout opportunities so far. So Chris, do me a favor. Explain this like I'm 5 years old. What is an early payout? And is it true the sportsbook can call my side the winner before the game's even over?
Absolutely. So early payout is the brainchild of Bet365. So Bet365, they set up shop in England originally in a little town called Stoke-on-Trent. And they were the trailblazers. When the internet and online betting started coming to life, they were one of the first on the scene to make online betting possible. And they have just grown year on year from there. They've expanded out to several different countries. They operate in several European countries. They operate in Australia. And they also operate in the US, fortunately for everyone on ProfitDuel. They operate in 17 different US states, and they have set the scene for early payouts. So this, as an offer or promo, has been available for over a decade now. Now, our parent company in the UK, Outplayed and Odds Monkey, tens of thousands of our members over there have been making lucrative, amazing profits from early payout for over a decade now. So we wanted to bring this to the US so our American friends can get involved in this and make the easiest money. It's just such a simple thing to do. And we have designed things to make things as easy as possible. So we do have the early payout matcher, and this tool is fully dedicated to this promo. So Bet365, they started it, but other sportsbooks, they followed suit. So for this World Cup, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, The Score, Bet Rivers, and Sugar House all jumped on this early payout, and they offer it on the World Cup. So what the early payout matcher does is it scans all the sportsbook odds tens of thousands of times a day to find the best opportunities, and it rates them with the best opportunity appearing first here, right? So what we're looking for basically is, we can set things up so you have different ways of doing this. Now, you can just get on as many games as possible. That's my best shout for doing this. Just do what your bankroll allows. The more opportunity you have, the more profit you're going to make, and you don't want to miss out on this. Now, we made this so super simple that it is like, anybody can do this really. So when you load up the tool initially, it won't have any filters. However, you can do it. You can set it on different sports. Now, that's one thing. It's not available on just the World Cup. It's available all year round. So you can do it on baseball. You can do it on soccer, WNBA, when NFL comes back into play, when college football and basketball is back, NHL. And so it's not just soccer for the World Cup. You can do this across not all, but the vast majority of European major leagues as well. English Premier League, you can do it on the Spanish La Liga, German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, for example. So there's so much opportunity every single day. 365 days a year, you've got an opportunity of making just such easy money.
So that's crazy that you can kind of use it in every sport. And obviously some sports books list kind of it as a promotion, and some have it as like separate markets within each match. Let me ask you a question though. Is obviously in like football, if a team goes up 2-0, which is very rare, right? There would have to be a safety. That's not early payout. So when is early payout triggered in all of those sports?
It's different. So you've got it like on MLB baseball. It's 5 runs. NHL is 3 goals. WNBA is 18 points. NFL is 20 points. So there's different levels to trigger the early payout. But you do have all this opportunity. So, and if you're a basketball fan, NBA Finals just recently, the Spurs against the Knicks. So the Spurs took a big lead, right? They triggered the early payout. So everyone with a money line bet on the Spurs, they were paid out as a winner, right? As you probably know, the Knicks came back and they actually won the game, right? So that created a huge profit opportunity for anyone on the Spurs. So it does happen. Now, with soccer and with the World Cup, as I said, it's happened 18 times, which is crazy. 18 times so far. We've only played the first 2 games for each team, right? Once we get into the knockout stages, that's when the profit jumps up, right? Because how it works is, your money line bet is going to be paid out as a winner on Bet365, BetMGM, the Score, FanDuel, DraftKings, Bet Rivers, or Sugar House, right? Then you've got your hedge bet. So you have exposure on the hedge side, and what you can do is you can start locking in profit, and you're reducing that exposure while locking in profit as well.
It's crazy. So just walk me through, obviously, with the matcher. What's the first thing you see, and how does the matcher actually surface an opportunity?
So what it's doing, it's looking for an alignment between your bet 1 and your bet 2. So your bet 1 is always going to be your early payout bet on the sportsbooks mentioned. So again, Bet365, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, the Score, Bet Rivers, and Sugar House, right? So early payout match is set up. So bet 1 is only going to be these eligible sportsbooks, right? So pretty much every bet you're going to find on here is going to be eligible for it, right? So then you can do it in several different ways, right? There's different strategies to it. You can, how I like to do it, when I was doing this, over the past 10 years back in the UK, I would do it where I would choose the teams, right? So I would then monitor, and I would be checking throughout the day to see if the odds would align. Because what we're looking for is to do this, we're looking for either a $0 qualifying loss, a qualifying profit, or a very small qualifying loss, talking a couple of bucks or even pennies in order to do this. So you can just set it up now. Once you first launch the early payout matcher, it's going to load up unfiltered, right? But you do have these filters on the right-hand side here in the shortcuts panel. So you can set up different ratings. So, if you want to set up just minimum 95% ratings, you can do that. You can do that in just a second, right? So all the ratings here, we're going to see 95% and above, right? So 100% rating results in no qualifying loss. So it's a risk-free shot of potentially winning both of your bets, right? Huge profits. And so, you just do this. You can look for the 100% ratings. Basically, when you see 100% rating, it doesn't matter the game. Just jump on it. It's a risk-free shot, right? So you can also filter things by minimum odds. So if it can lead to more profit if you do bet on your early payout team, your bet one being like the outsider, right? So, I mean, you can set things up. So if you want to look for minimum odds, say plus 100, you can do that, right? You can set it up by the event time as well. So you just slide this across. So it's going to show the games playing, say, in the next day, the next 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, right? Now, what I really like to do as well is, say, I want to do it on soccer, right? I want to do Bet365. I want to do BetMGM. I want to have minimum odds of 100. I want to have a minimum rating of 95%, right? What I can do is I can just set this up, right? Save the filter, and then call it whatever I want. Bet365 soccer. We have BetMGM in there as well. I save the filter. So every time I just return to the early payout matcher, it's really easy because I just go to this drop down and I can just select it, right? And then it's going to load it up.
Every time a match meets those criteria, it will show up in the calculator, correct?
Yeah, exactly right. Yes, every single time. So yeah, but in doing it, right? So you can pick a result, pick one you want to go for, right? So let's look at this.
Highest rated one.
Yeah, the highest rating right now we've got is 97.82, right? So Haiti against Morocco, right? So if we open up the calculator, and then from here, we can set our stake. Now, the great thing, one of the many great things about the early payout matcher and this promo is you can scale it, right? You can do $10 if you want. You can start small. You can get your feet wet. You can see how it works with just a small stake, $10, right? So in this example, you place $10 on Morocco, hedge the bet on Morocco not to win, right? Not to win on ProfitX. That's going to cover Haiti winning or the game ending in a tie. So totally risk-free. All outcomes are covered. So you could do $10, right? $10 on the score, going to hedge for only $2, right, on ProfitX, right? However, you can do more. You can do 100. You can see here that's going to increase your hedge to 22, right? But you can bring it up. You could do like $1,000, right? So doing $1,000, your hedge is going to be 222, right? So you go to the sportsbook, place your bet one, right? Really easy. So you go to the score. Go to Morocco money line. We make it so easy. You just copy the stake, copy and paste it. Copy the stake, place your bet on Morocco money line at the score, paste in the stake and into your bet in the bet slip, place the bet, right? Then you do your bet two, your hedge bet on Morocco not to win. So you click this button, you go direct to ProfitX, and you place your $222 hedge bet on Morocco not to win. Again, you can just click copy stake and copy it. Copy pasta, super simple, right? So after you placed your bet, you want to save the calculator. So what this does is it saves the calculator. We have a list here, so you can go to it here and you can see the list of all the ones that you've saved previously, right? So what you do is just wait for early payout to trigger, right? And then you just go back into it. What you need to do is you just need to find the money line odds, the live odds on Morocco, right? So Morocco, they've got, say it's really early in the game, right? The first 8 minutes, Morocco went 2 goals clear, right? So you'd look for the best odds. So the best odds, you're better looking on the sharper books to find the better odds, right? So the likes of FanDuel, even DraftKings, the prediction markets like ProfitX, Novig, they're going to be your prime spots to look for the best odds. So you just quickly do that. Find the best odds, you type them in. So say it's plus 100, right? The odds went for Morocco money line plus 100. You can see here, you can lock in the full profit, right? Type 100. Then you're going to place another bet on Morocco money line. And doing this reduces your head's exposure on Morocco not to win, right? So you do that again, copy the stake, paste it. So say, for example, this is on FanDuel plus 100. Copy your $600 stake, go to FanDuel, place your $600 on Morocco money line, right? Now, in doing that, you've immediately locked in $582 profit, right? If Morocco go on to win the game. But if Morocco fail to win, so Haiti, or if it ends in a tie, you're going to lock in $581 profit. So there's $1 between it, right?
Not bad.
Not bad at all, right?
No, and to be clear, ProfitDuel does all the calculations for you, right? The only thing you have to do is kind of just follow our suggestions and go place the bets manually yourself.
Exactly right, Casey. That's all you need to do. The software handles all the math. You don't need to do any mental gymnastics. You don't need to figure it out in your head. You don't need to bust out your calculator on your iPhone to figure it out. This does it all. Absolutely everything for you. And we make it so super simple. You don't even have to remember the stake. Just copy it. And
Literally.
then go paste it on sportsbook. Super easy. Now, there's other things you can do with this as well. You can see how the game is going to go. So let's go back to the example we used, right? It's early in the game, 8 minutes played. Morocco scored 2 goals, lightning fast start, right? Awesome. So if you feel like, say, if you're watching the game live, Haiti are looking good, right? They're looking like they're getting into the final third. They're, got a lot of shots on target. Morocco have dropped off a bit. Looks like Haiti could score and get back into the game, right? Because we're always working the lock-in profit off your bet one money line. If Haiti come back in the game and say it's 2-1 to Morocco, so 2 goals to Morocco, 1 goal to Haiti, then that, in effect, is going to increase the Morocco money line odds. And when that happens, you can lock in more profit. So, if we did it like this, so if we went from, the 100, right, say the odds went to plus 300, then that profit has jumped up to $882 or $881. Again, just a buck in it, right? However, what you can do is say 8 minutes, right? 8 minutes gone in the game. Morocco scored 2 goals in the first 8 minutes, right? They're looking good, right? But again, Haiti it's a fair game. The score doesn't actually reflect the reality. It is end-to-end in this game. So, but there's profit on the table, right? My suggestion is to take it, right? But what you can do is you can use the lock-in profit slider. I always like to go 50-50 myself, but it's completely up to you. You can lock in 10%, say, right? So in this scenario, we would lock in profit. You see here the third bet stake on Morocco to win that you would place on the best live odds. We use FanDuel as an example. So say FanDuel again. It's reduced the stake down to 300, right? You've locked in 50%. You've got the other 50% left riding. So you'd copy that stake, place that over on FanDuel, and you have locked in $282 profit guaranteed. However, if Haiti then come back in and they win the game, or it ends in a tie, you're going to make $881, right? However, you still have 50% left riding on it, right? So you can do that. So you place your bet, you place your $300 extra bet, your third bet on Morocco money line. Then you just save the calculator, okay? So every time you save the calculator, it takes a snapshot of exactly how you left it. So say the game, we're into the second half, and it's 2-1 now, right? So the odds have jumped up to say plus 400. So you see in this scenario, what we can do is now we have to place another $120 stake for a remaining 50% on Morocco. Let's do the same again. We're looking for the best live odds. Again, it's FanDuel. FanDuel are sharp. You know, you're going to get the best odds on FanDuel, on ProfitX, on Novig. Always the best ones to look at first. So you do that. You lock in your remaining 50%, right? So then that takes it on top of the profit you've already locked in. So you have an additional $462 profit in Morocco and the game as winners. However, if Haiti come back in and the game finishes a tie or Haiti win the game, you've locked in an additional $1,061 profit from there. Fantastic. Let's say Haiti have won the game. Brilliant. Okay. We just logged that profit. We hit the log profit. We can type it in here. Morocco and Haiti, 2 up, say. And then we can enter it in, just log that to the profit tracker.
Awesome. I have some questions from the audience that I want to bring up here because I think they're really good.
Sure.
Would this still work as if you say there Morocco went 2 up at like 50 to 60 minutes?
Yes. Yeah. Now, what that's going to do, you're still going to have profit to lock in this scenario. But the profit will be reduced, you know, as time goes on in the game. You know, but it's with these live odds, it's going to change. You know, no 2 games are going to be the same ever. It depends on how the game is playing out. Now, if Morocco were just bossing the game, right, you know, and it's like 70% possession to Morocco, 30% to Haiti. Haiti have got no shots or anything. You know, in that scenario, you may want to just lock in 100% profit, just take what is there, basically. But it, you know, it depends on where you get to in the game, basically. You know, we can see here that the profit, you know, if it's minus 200 on Morocco, then the profit is reduced to 381. Now, you don't have to do this. This is a strategy. So there's different strategies of playing this, right? You can take the option of doing nothing, right? So let's go back to the New York Knicks San Antonio Spurs example, right? On that game, if you were on the Spurs money line, so they triggered the early payout in that game, right? That bet was paid out as a winner. So if you did nothing, right, then the Knicks come back in and they win the game, then you would have won both bets, right? You would have locked in max profit from this because both bets would have won. So that's a strategy. A lot of people do it that way. You know, they just set it and forget it, right? There's long-term value in doing it this way, right? You may have higher variance because these are when the other team comes back in after early payout is triggered and they tie the game or they win the game. That's known as a full turnaround, right? So they don't happen as often as the team just triggering the early payout. So it's still long-term profitable to do nothing, right? But it's a higher variance, right? You're going to profit less often when you do it that way. But a lot of people do it that way. They make good money. They travel the world. They buy new cars. They get a new kitchen for their home. You know, they do a lot with it.
So I have some follow-up. So Wild Panda 82. Good to see you, Wild Panda. Wait, that's actually insane. So if Morocco goes up 2-0 and gets the early payout, then Haiti comes back and wins, you end up cashing both. Yes, that is correct. And basically what Chris just outlined in that Spurs-Knicks example. When the Knicks completed the biggest comeback in finals history, let's say you did take the Spurs on early payout, you won both, and you probably came away with a nice, pretty penny. Also from Wild Panda 82, did the books limit your stakes on these? I could actually take this one, Chris. It depends if early payout is a promotion or a market on the sports book, right? On Bet Rivers, it's going to be a market under whatever sport it is. So it kind of just will vary on your account limits, right? Each sports book is going to vary. Depends how your account health is, but you should be able to get a few $100 down. Let's say you do play early payout on DraftKings. It is more so a promotion. So you're going to have a max wager, but they will preface that before you go and place the bet. Chris, did I miss anything there?
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing I'll add is because it is the World Cup and the handle involved in the whole tournament, the sports books tend to allow bigger wagers without limits. You know, like so far we've had the early payout matcher launched since before the World Cup even, and from our members, the feedback we're getting, we haven't experienced anyone coming across any limits. They're able to get on what they want to get on.
Yep.
We've got one of our favorites. He's in Michigan. He's betting $1,000 every time, and he's having no problems whatsoever getting 1,000 on.
It's very nice when you can. When you say risk-free, if it's 100% rating, is it really risk-free though?
It is, yes. So I have some previously saved ones, right? So we have this game is tomorrow, Australia against Paraguay. That's within the same group as the USA, right? So this one is I've placed the bets here, right? This is a risk-free shot, right? Because we have plus 200 Paraguay money line and then minus 200 on Australia. Now this is plus 0.5, so that's on the spread. So that basically the spread within it. So if Australia win the game or if it ends in a tie, your bet to win. So it's fully risk-free. You're fully hedged, fully covered, right? So with that, there's that's completely risk-free. This is 100% rating, right? So you see here, if we look into the outcome overview, your total $0 on both sides, right? So that's I did a $500 stake on that, right? But say for example, talk's sake, right? I did 50,000, right? $50,000, right? And this one, still my qualifying loss is $0. Doesn't matter. You can scale it up, right?
It's a nice free roll. And so if Paraguay were to go up 2-0 and Australia came back and tied it up and the game finished at 2-2, you're walking away with some really, really, really good profits here. But again, yes, let's say nothing happens. You're not going to lose any money as long as you just follow the ProfitDuel kind of suggestions.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it's a risk-free shot. You can just get on as many as you can. My best advice is to get on as many as your bankroll allows. Then you can decide what to do for your strategy. Now, what I will say, if this seems a little bit complicated, what you can do is you have options. You can book a call, a one-to-one call with a profit coach, right? Right now, it's free of charge. We do this over Google Meet, so we can share our screen. We can do vice versa. You can share your screen. It depends on what kind of learner you are. I'm kinesthetic, sorry. I prefer to learn by doing, so I would share my screen and I would like to be guided. And we can do that, no problem. We can do that over the course of 30 minutes on a call. We can make you an expert in this over 30 minutes. That's all it takes, right? So you do have that option. You can reach out to us on live chat on Discord as well, because we do have a lot of our members on Discord. They're using Early Payout Matcher. We do have our entire team on Discord. So, help is just a step away at any given point.
And in Discord, I actually noticed something called the Early Payout Sniper. What is that?
Right. Okay. I'm glad you asked. This is, I'm so proud to show you all this. So when we go back to it, right, let's go back into the Early Payout Matcher, right? So if you remember, I talked about the ratings, right? We want the 100% ratings. 100% ratings equal a risk-free shot, so no qualifying loss. Now, also over 100% is basically arbitrage, so you can actually make qualifying profit in doing this as well. So I mean, you can trigger the early payout. If not, you're actually going to make some profit from it. Now, what you can do, you've got some options. You can log in to ProfitDuel, go to the Early Payout Matcher throughout the day. Check it 20 times, right? See in this column the rating. Look for this 100%. So you can do that. That is the long way of doing it. Or you can go to our Discord and you'll see it in promo alerts here, right? You have Early Payout Sniper. And what you want to do is you just want to set up notifications for it, right? So if you just do all messages, and every time we surface at least 100% rating, so that's a risk-free shot, no qualifying loss or qualifying profit of over 100%, Early Payout Sniper will find both of them and instantly alert you. So what you can do is you can sit back. You don't have to log into ProfitDuel and keep on checking it. You can sit back, wait for the alert on your phone, jump in and do it, right? So, the last one that surfaced is France versus Norway. That plays in 2 days at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that is on Norway. Now, that's actually a really good one to get on, right? Norway are the dark horses. They're playing so well. Obviously, France are favorites. Between France and Spain are the two favorites to win the entire World Cup, to lift the trophy. But I would get on that one, Norway. Now, this works around the clock. It's on overdrive. We didn't actually expect it to do so well. I mean, I'm going to scroll up. You can see all these risk-free opportunities.
This is in the last 24 hours alone.
Yeah. I mean, look, yesterday, just so many of them, covering. I think Early Payout Sniper has found a risk-free opportunity for every World Cup game so far. And based on the first round of games, it will continue to do so all the way to the final.
It's crazy. So, Chris,
really, really, really easy.
My last question before we kind of speak about the World Cup matches and finish the show is: the early payout matcher available on all ProfitDuel plans and tiers?
It is not. It is available on Pro and Elite tiers. However, they are nearly half price right now. So they're very inexpensive to get into this, to get your early payout sniper, to get alerts of every single risk-free opportunity going direct to your phone. And it's definitely worth it to do it. So with Pro and Elite as well, so you will get access to more tools as well. Pro comes with everything on starter and advanced. So our Dutch Matcher, our Boost Matcher Edge, our Boost Matcher Pro. So our Pro tier, that comes with Boost Matcher Pro and everything on advanced and starter. Boost Matcher Pro is for value betting all your profit boosts. That's the way I like to do them personally, because, well, when you get a 50% profit boost, that's creating so much long-term value. That's the best way to do it. You can't always hedge the bet with Boost Matcher, but Boost Matcher Pro is the way to make crazy profits. And then on top of that, if you go to Elite, which would be my recommendation, because that gives you the access to all ProfitDuel tools, our entire suite of tools. So you get everything on starter, advanced, and Pro. Plus you also get our matcher that surfaces arbitrage opportunities all around the clock, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And our EV matcher, which is our value betting tool. You have that. We uncover value betting opportunities, again, all around the clock, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you have access to all of this for up to half price right now. That is just money saved is money earned, really.
Pretty damn good deal. So highly recommend you all get yourself a Pro and Elite subscription right now so you can start making some lucrative profits this World Cup and going into football season. Chris, thank you for that show and tell. Get up to 50% plus off your Pro and Elite plans right now so you could start using the early payout matcher. Chris, before we go, I want to kind of talk some matches. We've got 6 matches today. What are your favorite bets of the day?
Let me take another look, Casey.
All right, while you're taking a look, I'm going to go with Switzerland money line.
You
think
so?
I think Canada, based on, look, I've watched their first 2 games. Look, I know nothing about soccer. I've made that abundantly clear. But I feel like Switzerland has looked like the better team so far, and I feel like Canada is overvalued in the markets a bit. And based on, I've got a few friends in Canada that follow soccer, not friends, but people on Twitter that I interact with, and they don't think very highly of the team. So I kind of trust them here. I'll probably play it in the draw no bet market just because, I don't actually know, the odds stink. I'm going to play it regular. So just give me Canada in the money line. Give me Switzerland in the money line 3-way market at plus 140 right now.
Yeah, I think it's a wise choice. Canada have done very well so far in the first 2 games. They are co-hosts, obviously, as well. But Switzerland, they're ranked higher. They are the better team by rankings on paper as well. There's the game I'm really excited about is the Scotland-Brazil game.
Are you excited for the Tartan Army or the just the game itself?
Both. As a Northern Irishman, we're closely tied with the Scots. We are basically the same personality. We are brothers, and they're great guys. I'm glad to see that they're in the World Cup. They are, they still have a shot. For automatic, they do need to win the game. But they are they in the group of the third best placed teams is Sweden, and then Scotland, and then Croatia. So they still have a shot, even if they don't win the game. That's one I'm really excited about. I don't think it's going to happen though. It's Brazil, really. But some of these games are. Morocco, I think they will probably steamroller Haiti. My betting tip for that would be Morocco and over 2.5 goals for that game. Bosnia, I think they'll beat Qatar as well. Maybe do a parlay Bosnia, Morocco and over 2.5 goals. And then, a parlay with 2. Because the other games are, looking at them, they're tough to call. Czech Republic, Mexico, that's a tough one to call. Who do you think?
I guess Mexico. I love Mexico, so sure, I'm biased. I'm rooting for them. So give me the Swiss and give me Mexico today. Obviously, we got a bunch more matches heading into the round of 32 that starts on Sunday. Through the first 2 matches of group play, Chris, who is your biggest surprise so far?
I'm going to say, I was thinking about this one. I think I'm going to say Norway.
Really?
Yes. Now, just with how they've played, the goals they've scored, they've been 7 goals in 2 games is not something to be sniffed at. That is incredible. We're talking about a tiny little country. Norway is tiny. I think I have to look it up, but I don't think their population is higher than any of the 50 US states, any of them. They do have some world-class players. Haaland, definitely world-class. Odegaard, maybe debatable if he's world-class. As an Arsenal fan, of course, I'm going to say he's world-class. That guy's made of silk. He is just incredible. He's such a joy to watch. There's been no real super surprises and shocks, I feel, apart from the Spain-Cape Verde game, ending goalless 0-0. That was a shock, but Spain have turned things around. That'll be long forgotten soon.
They look good. At It's Me's Rasco, loving the World Cup, but finding myself looking forward more to the Cape Verde and Carousel more than my own country. I got that. You want to root for the feel-good story. That is a great transition because I would say my biggest surprise so far of the World Cup has to be Cape Verde, right? They have a population less than 500,000 people, under 500,000, and they've drew in their first 2 matches so far. So if they win their 3rd match against Saudi Arabia, which is the worst team in that group, then they're going to go through to the round of 32, which is absolutely incredible to me. So I would love to see that happen. It's astonishing that they drew against Spain, obviously. They then drew against Uruguay in their last match. And look, if they win, they get in. It's pretty much as simple as that. So I am rooting for Cape Verde. It is a great story how a tiny, tiny, tiny country can potentially advance to the round of 32 in the FIFA World Cup in 2026.
It is incredible. So What about you, Casey? What's been your shock so far?
I think my shock so far is I didn't really expect much of the USA team going into this tournament, but they look to be really good. I don't know if it's just inferior opponents they're playing, but they've definitely surprised me that they've been playing this well so far.
Yes, I have to agree with you there. I did have some confidence. I thought, US would definitely make it out of the group, just due to the coach. This is the best coach the US has probably ever had. I think, yeah. I don't know about winning it, but I could see even getting to the semis, to be honest.
That would be sweet. I mean, that would be pretty cool.
Depends on the road there. Sometimes you can get the rub of the green. You can get some easy ties on your way there. So who knows? There's so much mystery. It makes it so exciting, right?
100%. And obviously, before we go, I do want to shout that every single day where there are matches, FanDuel has a 50% profit boost. DraftKings has a 30% profit boost. Fanatics has like 100% profit boost on some of these matches. So use the ProfitDuel boost matcher so you could just lock in easy profits before these games even kick off. You don't have to actually bet on the games to right? You don't have to pick a side. Just play the boost, turn them into easy money, right? Depending on your max wagers, you could be making anywhere from literally 10 to $50 a day by just playing these boosts, going by the ProfitDuel suggestions and manually placing the bets themselves. So use the boost wisely, use the early payout wisely. It's here for a reason. Chris, before we go, are you still standing by your statement that Spain or France are going to win the World Cup?
Yes. However, after the Cape Verde board draw, I am swinging more towards France now. France just look unstoppable, really.
Yeah, you look like an absolute beast of a team. I'm pulling for Netherlands, but that's because I did place a future on them with a boost, but I don't have much faith in them. They did look good against Sweden, but that's just one game. They got a long way to go here.
So they do, yes. There's so many great teams, right? It's hard, with this expanded format as well. It's not it's tricky. The Netherlands look awesome, though. I'd like to see them do well.
Did you see the video of the Dutch guy carrying 24 beers at once?
I didn't see that one. I got to look that one up. But they do. I love the fans. The dance that they do, the left and the right. They took over Times Square. The fans are awesome. I love the Norwegian fans as well. Have you seen the Viking row?
Oh yeah,
they did it. Awesome. Yeah, all the players sat on the pitch. They did and then all the fans in the stadium. It's I'm getting goosebumps talking about this. I'm not even Norwegian, not even there.
I mean, the scenes coming from the World Cup are incredible, and it's nice to see that people actually are enjoying America. It's such a great place, and the media portrays it to be so horrible, but that is not the case. So sometimes you got to experience things firsthand to really get a true feeling of what's actually going on. That's all I'll say. But go Dutch, go USA. Let's go England as well, obviously. We'll talk next Tuesday for the knockout stages, and as the tournament progresses, we'll see what happens. Looking forward to that.
Indeed, yes. Have a great week, everyone. We'll leave you with upgrade to Pro and Elite. Get on the early payout matcher. Book a 1-to-1 call. If you want to talk to me, you can do that. Just reach out to us. You can request a call with me. I'm happy to take you through it, from start to finish. That's no problem. But all of our profit coaches are experts. So anyone you talk to is really going to help. Let's make some money for the rest of the World Cup. Remember as well, historically, you're going to get a lot of early payouts in the group games. However, when it gets to the knockout, basically sudden death, you got to win or you're out. That's when we see the big profits. That's when they really skyrocket. So you're running out of time. Get on it.
Get on it before we get to the knockout stages. As Chris just said, you could still get up to 50% off your pro and elite plan. So I highly recommend you go and do that right now. Chris, thanks as always for your time, and we'll talk on Tuesday.
See you then. Take care, everyone. Have a great week.